Well done. Congratulations to Napoli fans, Luciano Spalletti. Well done on being the 2022-23 Scudetto winners. Has to be said. Welcome back on the Uncle Sharma channel, guys. Today, quick video to react to this historic Napoli Scudetto win, only the third in their history. A club that I don't have particularly any problems with. I don't feel a particular rivalry with. I even have a good content creator friend, Dom Napoli Talk, who I also forward my congratulations to. So, and I've said since the beginning of the year, as long as it's not Milan or Juventus winning, I don't mind anyone else winning it. Napoli is that team. Obviously, at the beginning of the season, I was hoping, and I think, and I still think Inter was good enough to be challenging for that Scudetto, just like we did last season. But what Napoli have done this season, absolutely unbelievable job. 80 points in 33 games right now. They didn't continue that crazy run that they looked like they were going on, of getting maybe 100 points. It looked like at one point they were gonna, smash the 100-point mark, but they slowed down as we expected them to. There was no way that they could keep up what they were doing in the first half of the season. But even still, 69 goals scored, only 23 conceded. So, going forward, really, really good, attractive. They've won the hearts of all of Europe. When I was watching Premier League shows, when I was watching European football shows, people were talking about, wow, who is this Napoli team? What is Spalletti cooking over there? They won the hearts and the minds of people all over Europe and the world in the way that they played. Spalletti's, style of football, his ideas, the time that he took off those 2 years, it clearly looked like, he studied the game. And he is one of the reasons I'm happy, to be honest. Luciano Spalletti, as he says in his famous words,
uomini forti, destini forti, uomini deboli, destini deboli, non c'è altra strada.
Uomini forti, destini forti, uomini deboli, destini deboli, which means strong men, strong destinies, weak men, weak destinies. And he's a strong man, and his strong destiny has arrived. Finally, a Scudetto win. Always known as the guy who finishes second, maybe not quite good enough to win a title, even though he did win it in Russia with Zenit St. Petersburg. And now, in his mid-60s, still in very good shape for his mid-60s, he's finally done it. And honestly, I can't think of a better coach that deserves this more. Worked hard for all his career. When people talk about a false nine being, invented or brought back into modern football, Spalletti was one of the first ones to do it. At Roma with Totti, when Totti won the Golden Ball, he did it in a 4-3-3 system at Roma, where he was played as the false nine. Before Guardiola did it with Messi, before it became a thing. Of course, it was done much earlier in the 40s, 50s. The things in football, there's pretty much impossible to invent anything new. Everything has been done. It's just reinventing the wheel. So he deserves a lot of credit for that. I know Interisti have mixed feelings about Spalletti. His time at Inter wasn't the greatest. I became a big fan of him from his time at Inter. He was what he did with the Icardi situation, everything going on off the pitch. Inter, it's a place that grinds you up and spits you out. I think he did a fantastic job managing all that and delivering us fourth spot both seasons on the final match day in typical Pazza fashion. But his style, his eccentricity, his jokes, his sarcasm, I just love to watch him, love to hear him in press conferences, even though sometimes, he speaks in riddles. He's very hard to understand at times, but I find him such a fascinating character. And what he's done with this Napoli team is really something special, because, I made a video about it in the summer, when I was covering all the teams in the summer. I made, what are Napoli cooking? Can they stay in top four after losing Koulibaly, Mertens, and Insigne? In this video, I was quite At this time, they still hadn't signed most of the players. They signed Kim and Kvara, but they were still yet to completely finish the puzzle as they did. And I was confident. I was saying, one thing I am confident with Napoli, with Giuntoli, their sporting project there, they always replace players well. And that's exactly what they did. Koulibaly, Mertens, Insigne, the captain, Ospina as well. It's the way that they replaced them is an example to all the teams in Italy that if you sell your big players doesn't necessarily mean you're going to downgrade. Sometimes you upgrade, and as they did, Kvara, instant upgrade on Insigne, which I said. Some players taking them to the next level. This is where Spalletti's coaching really coming into his own. Lobotka, a guy that he wanted at Inter, he confirmed, and we talked about in the past, Stanislav Lobotka. He wanted him at Inter if Brozovic was going to leave, which luckily didn't happen, but he worked on him. He was a massive flop at the beginning. Anguissa, a guy that was relegated with Fulham in the Premier League, good player, but needed to be worked on, improved. Guys like Mario Rui, who were constantly known as the weak links of this Napoli team over the years. If there's one guy you pick out in the Napoli team every time, is Mario Rui. And somehow this season he's been solid most of the season. It's probably going to be most of this Napoli team. When we come to make a team of the season for Serie A, is going to be dominated by Napoli because all of their players have been consistent, have had really high peaks and maintained those peaks. And of course, the way he's transitioned and took Victor Osimhen to the next level. Every season we talk about maybe this guy has got potential to be top scorer, capocannoniere. Can he do that? Can he stay fit for the whole season? Can he take his game, his hold-up play to the next level? And yeah, he's improved all aspects of his game, added goals. Looks like this season he's going to finish as a top scorer. And that partnership he's created with Kvara, beautiful to see, lovely to watch. And even on the right-hand side, Chucky Lozano is a player I do not like. I always make jokes, memes about that guy. The fact that he's going to be a Scudetto winner. So it's Alexis Salamakers, salami maker last season, and now Chucky Lozano, two right wingers that I absolutely do not like, winning the Scudetto back-to-back. What is life? What is life? But yeah, Politano and Chucky Lozano being the right wingers, finding a way to make it work. Elmas when he needed to step in, like the whole squad has worked. When if Osimhen was injured, Simeone stepping in, Raspadori stepping in, being able to get everything out of all their players, and still doing well in the Champions League until they got kicked out by Milan. But it is what it is. And at the back, signing a guy like Min-jae Kim from the Turkish league, and yeah, that he's probably going to be. I need to think about it a little bit more. But right now, off the top of my head, I think he is my Serie A Defender of the Year. What an absolute instant impact! I don't remember a defender coming into Serie A having such a big impact straight away. Amazing signing. But again, the work by Luciano Spalletti to integrate him so quickly. Meret, the goalkeeper, I've never rated him that highly, but he really has stepped up this season. And they were linked with the Navas from PSG initially, Kepa from Chelsea, and I thought they needed to make that goalkeeper signing. But in the end, again, Spalletti, his coaching staff, the goalkeeper coach, whoever worked with Meret, has taken him to that next level. Rahmani next to Min-jae Kim, he doesn't convince me either, but he also elevated his level. João Jesus, Inter fans know all about João Jesus, and he's stepped in every time he needed to. And Di Lorenzo, captain perfect. That guy, put him anywhere on the pitch, he will perform. He is, one of the most consistent players I've seen over the last 2 or 3 years in Serie A. Yeah, in that midfield, of course, so we said Lobotka, Anguissa, Zielinski, and Ndombele, a guy like Ndombele, another coaching masterclass, a guy that usually is completely unreliable. I know he's not really contributed too much, Ndombele, to Napoli's Scudetto run, but whenever he's needed to step in, he stepped in. So yeah, I know the scenes in Napoli are going to be absolutely crazy right now, and I hope they enjoy it. I know as an Inter fan, especially when the Conte Scudetto, you have to enjoy these Scudettos when they come around, guys. If you're a Napoli fan watching this, please make sure to enjoy the Scudetto. Enjoy it with your friends, with your family, with other fans, and party as much as you want to your heart's content, because you never know when's the next time you're going to win, especially, you know, Napoli. This is only a third one. And I'm happy for a southern Italian club to be winning it as well. You know, northern clubs in Italy dominate. When you look at historically, the numbers of Scudettos is all up in the north pretty much. And Napoli are pretty much the lone representation for the south in terms of winning. So I'm glad that there's a bit of geographical spread coming in, and hope they can, you know, maintain this level. And yeah, today 1-1 at Udinese, all the pressure was on. You could see it. This is not a super team. This is not, even though they've performed like one, they're not a super team. And let's see how many pieces they keep in the summer. You know, Kvara, Osimhen, teams are going to come calling for these guys. Kvara, of course, before we finish the video, we got to talk about him. Complete, you know, clear breakout player of the season, signing of the season, probably him or Kim, one of those two. A little throwback to a player from the 80s and 90s, Kvara, you know, this kind of low socks, very techie baller, breath of fresh air into this league. Wonderful to watch. Yeah, let's see what happens to them in the summer. And once again, congrats to Napoli, Spalletti, Napoli fans all out around the world. You guys deserve it. But hopefully, you know, Inter, we will be back next season. We will be back. We will be there, he says, in hope. But yeah, obviously not an Inter-focused video, but I hope you guys enjoyed that. If you are a Napoli fan, please leave a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. I do try to make general Serie A content as well. And we'll see you in the next one, and end it with Spalletti's trademark sentence: uomini forti, destini forti, uomini deboli, destini deboli. Non c'è altra strada. Ciao.